Okay, so here I am, back at it again. I realized that when I recorded the other stuff, I went really into detail about like every single thing that I did, so I'm gonna try not to do that this time because it made those videos really long and nobody wants to hear every single freaking thing I did. I mean, come on. You guys don't want to hear that, do you? I hope not, because I'm gonna try not to do that this time, which should make these videos much shorter. That Disneyland one was just ridiculous. Alright, so, day one of Minecon, yay! So this was our third day? Fourth day? What day was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth day. Okay, so this was our fourth day in Anaheim. Kevin did not have tickets to Minecon because A, he doesn't play Minecraft, and B, he doesn't care. So he got to do his own thing, which meant sitting in the hotel for pretty much the whole day and then going to downtown Disney, I think. And I can't remember the full story, but anyway, at some point he got trapped in an elevator. So, yeah. He had a fun time, I'm sure. So, day one started off with me walking all by myself over to the convention center, which luckily was just like right there, and getting into a very, very, very long line. But of course, since it was filled with other people who play Minecraft, I had plenty to talk about to them. So I got to tell people that I have a YouTube channel where I play Minecraft, and yeah, I don't think any of them subscribed. I don't know if they just didn't remember or if they looked and went, this is not what I want to watch. I think it's just that they didn't remember me. At least that's what I'm going to say. They didn't remember my name, so, I'm gonna say it was that because it makes me feel better. Okay, so anyway, while I was standing in line waiting for ever, I was trying to kind of chat with some of the other people from Realms Malik. So those are a lot of like map makers and stuff. And since I've never actually seen any of them in real life, we had this really funny little conversation where we were just showing pictures of each other. And so that was kind of fun because I used that picture that I took at Disneyland, and I think I scared somebody. Because it was like my face, and it was really big, and it was like, God, that scared me when I opened it. So yeah, that happened. So yeah, I had to wait in line forever, but I managed to get into the opening ceremonies, and honestly, it wasn't like that hard to get in there. I don't know why they made everybody wait in a freaking line, because I think everybody got a seat. So why couldn't they have just let people go in? It makes no sense really, but whatever. Anyway, I sat by myself because I have no friends. But one of the guys that was in line behind me was sitting behind me too, so we could kind of chat and everything. So I wasn't very close to the stage, but that was fine because you could see everything. They had like 3 big screens and everything, so it didn't really matter how close you were to the stage. Or at least to me, it didn't really matter. So I didn't really care, and they started really late, or a lot later than they should have, which meant that toward the end of the opening ceremonies, it was getting really, really close to time for the panels to start, so people started leaving. And I stayed as long as I could, but I was like, look, I do want to go see this panel, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave. So I went to the storytelling through Minecraft panel, which had some people... And I'm pretty sure that was the one that had like ant venom and caveman films, or somebody like that. I can't remember. I've never really watched any of their videos, so it was like people that I did not know. But it was pretty interesting because they were talking about like role plays and machinimas and things like that, and it really got me wanting to do things like that. So, I mean, if that's what they were trying to do, then good job, because now I want to do things like that. But it also had stuff about like music videos and things like that, and using Minecraft to make things like that, being very creative with storytelling through Minecraft. Oh my god, that was the name of the panel. Yeah, so there was that. Very interesting though. I enjoyed all of the panels that I went to, and I'm really glad that I got to go to the ones that I went to. I missed a few that I wanted to see, but honestly, I mean, wasn't that big of a deal. I had 2 that I definitely wanted to see, and that's because I knew people that were going to be on the panels, and there was, I think there were like 2 others that I also really wanted to see, and I got to go to all of those. So I was really happy to be able to see everything pretty much that I wanted to see. There were a couple of other things that I was like, I guess I could do this, but I don't have to. It was like optional kind of stuff, which is why my my itinerary for the trip was like 1 page long, because I was just kind of winging it, which I very rarely do in real life. Now, in Minecraft, I'm just like, whatever. So after that panel, I decided to go look for some friends. And of course, the first friend that I was looking for was OG Otosan, otherwise known as OG Games, and he is someone who plays Base Race and used to play MHC. He doesn't play it anymore, but that's how we met, was through MHC. And he had made a shirt for himself just for Minecon, and yeah. So I found him. He was waiting for AFMAO, I think. He was waiting for like an autograph or whatever. I don't know. I didn't get anybody's autograph because I don't really care about stuff like that. Maybe I'm just weird, but it's like, okay, these, sure, they're like, they have a lot of subscribers, but they're just people. It's, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get the hype around getting YouTubers autographs. But, you know, people who do want that, that's completely fine. And, you know, people who want pictures, that's cool too. I mean, I would probably rather have a picture than somebody's autograph, because that's just, I don't know, it just seems weird. So anyway, I found OG and his daughter Viv Cakes, and Derptator and Derptator's daughter Kitty Cat, and we stood in line for AFMAO, even though I wasn't actually in line for it, or to see her, but yeah, after that we went to eat lunch together. So I got to eat lunch with OG, which was really cool because I've talked to him online before, and we're in like Discord groups together and everything, and we've never met in real life until then, and there was a cute little picture that he took and put on Twitter, and and it was one of the very rare pictures of me from Minecon. Yeah, so there's at least one picture of me floating around out there at Minecon. But so yeah, I had lunch with them, and after lunch I kind of talked them into going to a panel with me. So we went to see the Mindcrack, like gaming as a community or something like that. Gaming as a group, that's what it is. They had a panel with the Minecrack people, and I've never really watched Minecrack stuff until quite recently. I know a lot of people know all of these, you know, they know who Good is, and I didn't know who Good was until like a year ago when someone was like, hey, you know Good, Boulderfist, and I'm like, no. So I don't watch Minecraft videos. The only Minecraft videos I have watched are the Survival Island ones, and that's only because I knew somebody who was in Survival Island, because I knew Ron, and that's why I watched it, because I wanted to see if he won. So yeah, I've never really watched Minecraft videos, but all of the people that were on the panel seemed really cool, and I might have to get into that at some point, but I don't think they really do Minecraft stuff anymore. I think they've moved on to like other games and everything, but yeah, it was really neat, especially for somebody who is in a group, because, you know, I have my group of friends that I play with a lot, my Load Central friends, my booty friends, as I also call them. I guess we're kind of a group like that, but not, you know, we're not famous. So, yeah. So after that, I decided to go to another panel, because apparently I was all about panels. But OG is not all about panels, so he and Viv Cakes decided to go see something else. I'm not really sure. They may have just gone down to the expo hall. I don't know. So I went to the Making Creative Minecraft Videos panel, and that also had several people that I don't know. And to be honest, I can't really remember anything about that panel. It has just completely left my mind. I remember the people that were on the panel, but I can't remember much of what they talked about. I don't know. It's just completely left my mind. Apparently there just wasn't enough room for that information in my memory, so yeah, whew, gone. I guess the main reason I can't remember much of what was happening is because I was trying to figure out how I was going to meet up with the Realms Malik people, and we were in Discord chatting and trying to figure out everything. There was some miscommunication where I thought they were downstairs in the expo hall, and they were actually upstairs in the back of the room where I was. But I didn't realize that because they said back left, and I thought, oh, back left of the expo hall. So as soon as it was over, I hightailed it out of there so I could meet up with my friends, and I got down there and nobody was there. So, yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I'm down at the expo hall, and they're like, we're upstairs waiting for you at the end of the panel. So yeah, eventually we did all meet up, and that was pretty much the end of all of the stuff for that day, all of the panels and things, except for they were going to be doing like a concert, and they had a comedian and everything that night. But the group of us decided that we were going to just go ahead and go get some dinner. And I had actually missed the big Realms meetup dinner thing the night before because I was at Disneyland, and we had like the tickets to the special occasion, special event, and so I missed getting to meet all of them the night before. But I finally got to meet up with them then, and we went out to eat, and not everybody got to make it. It was just 5 of us, so it was me and Kavolta and Unlikely Waffle and Conjure and Hawkminer. So yeah, that was all of them, and then me. Yeah, so we all went out and ate and had a good time, and I got to hear Hawkminer and Conjure debating philosophical ideals, and it was really funny because it reminded me a lot of when I was playing Out of This Realm. And I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but you should totally go watch that series because it was really fun, and some of those guys were in it, and Hawkminer and Conjure, of course, were in it. Conjure was on my team, and Hawkminer was on the other team, and they used to debate when we would have our really long calls, like after we would do our meetings and events and everything, and one of my favorite times was when they were arguing about the Constitution, because we were out of this realm and we had found a new place to live, a new planet, and we had to write a constitution, and we had to like merge them at one point, and it was crazy to hear them just arguing and debating and everything, and it reminded me of that when we were there eating dinner and everything. It was really fun. And another thing about it is that's really weird is like my friends that I talk to all the time, we know each other's first and last names. I mean, we're like friends on Facebook and everything. So it's really weird to not know somebody's first name and you only know them as their screen name, but you're out to eat dinner and everything. So it's like, oh, okay, Kavolta and Unlikely Waffle. And, it's really weird. And then they bring the check. And so you're all paying separately. And the lady comes back with our credit cards and everything and says the person's name. And it's like, oh my God, they have a name. This is so weird. I don't know why it was so weird. It just was. Because I don't know. I guess I just don't think of it. I just know them as their screen names, as their Minecraft usernames. And it's just really weird to know that, they have real names. That sounds so weird when I say it like that. I mean, of course I know they have real names. It's just weird because I don't think of them by their real names. I only think of them by their Minecraft names. So yeah, it was really, really strange. But yeah. But yeah, I had a great time. I really enjoyed hanging out with them. Yeah. So like I said, they had a comedian and they had a concert and everything, but I decided not to go, and I don't think any of the others went either, even though I think Hawkminer kind of wanted to go. But yeah, I just went back to the hotel and was pretty much ready to go to bed because, oh my God, going to a convention is just so tiring, but that was my first convention, so I didn't know how tired I was going to be, but yeah. It was great though. It was a great time. So the next day, Minecon day 2, I got there kind of late, of course, but I had an easier time meeting up with the Realms Malik group. Also met up with Jiggerbov, and we all went to see the 1.11 changelog because they were talking about all that stuff, and it's really fun to go. I had so much fun going to that with them because every time they would show something new, you could hear the wheels turning in their heads because they're all map makers. So when they show like new things, they're like, how can I manipulate this in my maps to make other things? And so they're like, oh my gosh, they're going to be flying flying mobs that are trying to kill you, and how can we fit this into a map, and how can we use like shulker boxes to do all this other stuff. And so it was really funny to just listen to them talking to each other and getting really excited about all of these things that they could put into their map potentially, and how they could manipulate it and everything. It was just really neat, especially because, you know, they're map makers, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I play survival. I sometimes play maps, but I never make them, you know, and so they're like, oh, that's really cool. And then I'm just sitting there going, oh, look, there's llamas. They're so cute. Yeah. So anyway, when that was over, it was time to head to the expo hall for the next panel. Because yes, I was all about the panels, of course. But yeah, we wanted to go to the art of storytelling and narrative in Minecraft maps. When I was making my original like plan of the panels that I really wanted to see, that was one of them. The two that I said that I went to the day before, those were two of them. And then the one that I went to after this one was also on there. Those were the 4 that I definitely wanted to go to, and those are the 4 that I did go to. But yeah, it was pretty cool because that happened to be a panel that somebody I knew was on, because that's the panel that Ars Malik was on. And also Jiggerbob was on, who I had just met, and also CDF Demand and Mosh. And it was a really good panel. I enjoyed it a lot. I've never really wanted to make a map, but I'm always interested in like how people make maps. Because, I don't know, it just seems really cool to me to, like, develop a story and to put all these little elements in it, and I don't know, it's just really cool. So, it was really interesting. I enjoyed it a lot, and, it was really cool to see people, or one person that I knew at the time, and then people that I got to know better later. It was good to see them on the panel. It was just really cool. The only thing that I would say should have been done differently has nothing to do with the people that were on the panel. It's just that the room that they did the panel in was the expo hall. And of course the expo hall is, you know, you've got all of these people behind you that are looking at all of these new indie games and things. And then to the other side, you have the store where they're selling all of these things. And then you have the arena. So of course they were doing some kind of arena thing. And they were really, really loud. So sometimes you couldn't really hear the panelists, which was annoying because I was interested in what they were saying. So what the heck? What the heck, Minecon? So yeah, that was the only thing that I didn't really like about it. Everything else was really good. So when that one was over, we went upstairs to the Learning to Make Maps in Minecraft panel, which was another one that those same people were on, plus Unlikely Waffle, who, you know, I had met the night before, and a couple of other people, QWERTY Octopi, and I guess that's how you say his name? Don't really know. QWERTY, we'll just call him QWERTY, and Dragnos was on it. Yeah, that was the other person that was on that one. And I had actually seen Dragnos on another panel, the panel that I had seen the day before, I think. He was on one of the Making Creative Minecraft videos, I think, panels. I think he was on that panel. I can't remember much about that panel, which is weird. But yeah, so I got to see another panel with him. So anyway, that kind of went more into the like technical aspects of making maps, whereas the other one was the story part of making maps. So with the story stuff, you know, you don't really have to have technical stuff, but it's cool if you do. But it was just kind of more of how to tell a story through a map, and this one was more of how to actually make the map with all of these different things, all of these different programs. I can't remember any of the names of them, but things like World Edit and the best places to put your redstone, because you want it to be in the spawn chunk. I did learn something. And of course, once you're done with your maps, you want to test, and test again, and once you think it is completely the way you want it to be, then you test more. So yeah, I did learn some things there. But yeah, it was a really cool panel too. And I was surprised to see so many like kids asking questions about map making. Kids who were interested in making their own maps, I thought that was really cool. That I don't know, I didn't think that kids would want to make their own maps, but apparently they do. So after that, I got to meet some of the people that I hadn't met yet, like Rockabilly and CDF Demand, and I don't know if I met QWERTY then. I think that was later. But, yeah, it's all running together. But yeah, I got to meet some of them and, stood around and talked to Ron, who I hadn't really had a chance to talk to yet. So talked to him and the rest of the group. And then they all decided that they were going to go to some other panel, and I can't remember what it was, but they all decided to go to it, and I went downstairs because there was someone else that I hadn't met yet that I wanted to meet, and that was Ash, who, none of you probably know. Ash is the project manager for one of the voice acting things that I am participating in, and, yeah, so I had told her that I was gonna be at Minecon, and she was really excited and said that we had to meet. So I was like, okay, Ash, I'll come downstairs and meet you. So went downstairs and met her and sat with her for a little while, and yeah, she's very chipper. She's a very happy person, which is really nice, and I liked her a lot and met some other people through her because there was a little group around her that were talking and got to meet them, and they were all pretty cool people, so yeah, I got to meet more people. And by the time that the Realms Malik people were finished with that panel that they had gone to, well, it was about time for Ash to leave, so I went ahead and said goodbye to her and met up with the others so that we could go see the closing ceremonies. So we saw that, and then we just kind of hung around outside of the convention center for a really long time because we were trying to get together a group to go eat dinner. So it ended up being this extremely huge group of people, and I felt like I did not fit in because most of them were map makers. There was one other YouTuber there and his wife who doesn't really play Minecraft, but it was the weirdest thing because the other guy there who's not a map maker was Ronnie Goes Boom, and he was talking about playing on faction servers, and I was like, gosh, that name sounds so familiar. And then I asked him, you know, what faction server he played on, and he said something, and I was like, okay, well, that's not what I thought that I had seen you from. But later I went and I checked his videos, and he used to play on Choicecraft factions, and that's one that I used to play on in a big group, and I specifically remember him because he had a lot of dogs, and his dogs would get killed a lot, but he used them as like a fighting tactic. And he was one of the people who was always trying to get into our base. So yeah, I remember him. He's a really cool guy though, so no hard feelings. He killed me a few times, I'm sure. Because there were probably a lot of people who have killed me several times in Minecraft. Yeah, but the rest of the people were like really big map makers. So there was like, of course, there was Ron. There was Dragnos, CDF Man, Jiggerboff, QWERTY, Unlikely Waffle, Volta, Conjure, Hawkminer, who else was there? God, there were so many people. Rockabilly was there. The guys from Accidental Games, Sparks and Crazy Man 47, I think that's his name. They were both there, so I got to meet like all of these people. It was really cool. And then we were waiting around for some more people to show up so that we could all go eat together. And the people we were waiting for were Sarge and Grum and other Mojang people, and that was really weird because I'm like, I just have like a little YouTube channel. I have like 400 something subscribers. I don't know. It's like less than 450. I know that. I shouldn't be here with these people. I feel so out of place. But they're all very awesome people. They're very cool. They're very welcoming, and I had a great time. And we went to the Cheesecake Factory, and there were like 25 of us, and it took forever for us to actually get tables, and they had to split us up into 3 groups, which was kind of annoying, but yeah, I got to hang out with awesome people, and I had a great time, and I loved it. And I would totally go back and hang out with all those people again, and I really wish that I could, because they were so cool. Oh, and Mark Watson, the guy who puts like maps on Realms, he was there, and I got to talk to him, so that was pretty cool. And by the time I got back to the room, it was like after midnight, and I had to get up the next morning and pack and leave. And I really wish I didn't have to leave because it was so much fun. But thank you, Squeaky Chair. I'm glad you agree. But that was it. That was Minecon. I had a great time. I enjoyed myself immensely. I met so many cool people, and I wish that I could go to conventions all the time now and hang out with cool people. yeah. So, I guess that's it for the Minecon stuff. Oh, I really don't want to have to split this into 2 videos, but I probably will. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, and I will see you guys next time when I talk about the trip home, the disastrous trip home, which if you followed me on Twitter, you would probably know all about. See you next time.